Alrighty, guys. Welcome everyone to this week's After Church Tea Time. We are talking about walking the spiritual path as a Unionists. And we have Unionists Kelly and Paco here today to discuss the Sunday service. And a beautiful Sunday service, and also a happy anniversary, Church of Union. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting topic. Walking the path as a unionist. I mean, finding your path really is the most important thing in life. I would say, or one of the most important things is choosing the right path for you to get you forward, right? To help you move forward in the direction of your dreams. And so let's actually have this view is much better. All right. How do you guys feel about the Sunday service and yeah, walking the spiritual path as a Unionist?
Thank you, Fabian, and happy anniversary to the Church of Union. It was very nice that Abir was speaking in this sermon about the Church of Union and how she was always desiring a church like that in her heart. And when she saw the first sermon, I felt like her. Oh my God, it's really coming true. It was so loving to have a church where there is at the core God and love, and everyone is welcome. Like she was inviting here all people, that everyone is welcome. And what I loved most about the sermon is that she was explaining how it's always about God, and God is guiding us. And even we don't know exactly where we are going or why things are the way they are right now, he has the bigger picture and he can communicate with us. Something was Kelly also mentioning in the introduction, and that really spoke to me, through our feelings. And this is a different way. This is a path of purification of our consciousness through feeling our feelings. And at the beginning, like a beer shared, was not the easiest thing. I was not like, oh my God, I feel not good. I feel my feelings and use this tool we have, the mirror exercise. It's a process itself to learn something different than what we are used to. Approaching things logical and finding solutions with our brain and with logic. And we have to relearn, and we have to empty our cup and relearn that God communicates with us through our feelings. And this way we also we purify our consciousness and we feel closer to God. Mm-hmm. And as she was sharing, humankind was ascending, that we come closer to God with our romantic partner, with our perfect partner, our twin flame. And I really loved how she explained this way, how humankind is already evolving in a way, and that the Church of Union is inviting everyone who is open for this way of ascending. Mm-hmm. By feeling your feelings and changing your life and your path through feeling your feelings. Yeah, and God is always loving you, that you really realize that no matter how your life circumstances may look like at the moment, God is loving you. And to learn really that God is not against you or God is punishing you in any way, but God is loving you and is supporting you in finding a way to make your life better. Like she was also sharing that when you learn this new way of approaching your life, feeling your feelings, that wow, I get this great idea. I would never have ever came to this idea without God. And that is a very nice way of living. This is what I really loved about this sermon.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks, Fabian, for the introduction. And I feel like I spent a good like 3 years really just being in the community and the Facebook group and getting to know the community, because I definitely have had some challenging like family and friend dynamics, and even in churches, I really struggled to find very loving churches. I found that like there was a lot of judgment in some of the churches that I grew up in. And I kept bouncing around from different, like just trying to find the right information that felt loving.
Mm,
And I just had a really hard time finding it. I could only go to a certain point in each like Christian church,
mhm,
because I just found there was so much judgment around like just the LGBTQ um, community. And I grew up in ballet, ballet with, a lot of artsy, authentic people. And so I just love everyone. And so I had a really hard time aligning to churches that didn't honor people's choices and how they felt about themselves. And, it was just, God was just leading me to that next path. And so it took me a little bit of time to trust the teachings of union and to trust that I would be loved here. And um, it's, yeah, I remember when I first started volunteering with the church, I kept waiting to be hurt. I kept waiting for people to be just unloving. And I don't know how long I've been volunteering now, but several years. And um, it hasn't happened. Like it's been so loving and so genuine. And people really take responsibility for their upsets and using the mirror exercise. So it's just beautiful, because when everybody's taking responsibility for their own upsets, it just becomes such a loving environment, and you can really heal through anything. And so that's been my experience, just being cautious and mindful about being led, right?
mm.
So, but it's been such a beautiful process to really be loved. Like I'm just so grateful. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I would agree. It's not maybe the easiest thing to find uh, a super loving community out there, you know. It's a process to really uh, get clear on the right people for you, the right environment for you, the right spiritual practice for you. And yeah, for many, it's a journey. Same was true for me. I had to move through, let's say, false teachers, if you will, and really coming to a conclusion of like, well, that particular teacher seemed very genuine in the beginning, but there is no real relationship there. So I rather move on, right? And then finding basically the Church of Union, the body of work here, um, with Jeff and Shaleia founding it, um, was it was like finding something that I was searching for, but I didn't know that I was searching for, and um, it is a safe container for your journey. Is in what I experienced, and it is beautiful to have come to that realization, and it it is ultimately a knowing, um, that yeah that you can attain for, oh yeah, that's for me, that is the right path for me, the right community for me. And once you have the realization, I think it's safe to relax into it and to grow roots, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful said, Fabian, that there is this feeling, first you cannot really explain, but like also Bia shared, she saw videos from Jeff and Shaleia, on YouTube, and she felt safe. She felt there was something very honest and authentic. Like you were also sharing that you grew up around very authentic people, and once you know this feeling, you know it. And like Abir was also sharing, she was building trust with the community itself, and the community was building trust with her. And I did not know that something like that can exist when I came here. I thought like I have to jump into and be open, and I got always hurt. But here people invited me to be easy, take my time, don't need to learn things from one day to the other, everything at once, but just be cool with yourself and allow yourself to really get clear what feels good for you, and to respect and accept your own process. And that was so new for me. And in a church, you don't need to immediately believe everything that they say. Otherwise, you get judged. No, you can get clear for yourself. Does that feel good to me? Is that my thing? Do I feel safe here? Do I feel good here? Do I feel ready to open up? I can even ask questions and I get support in getting clear. That was totally new and different. And it's because God is at the core and not the religion itself. It's about love and God and your relationship with God. And you are supported here in find your unique relationship with God. And this is such a beautiful thing, to have your unique relationship with God, and you are supported and helped here. Even when you do your volunteering work, you come closer to God. So it's a win-win situation always for everyone, because we do the volunteering to bring this church to the people so that they can experience what we experience here, love and our unique relationship with God. And not we have to believe from one day to another the doctrine of the Church of Union. No, it's about God. It's about you realizing and you're feeling the truth in your heart. And you can have your process. Your unique process is welcomed. You are welcomed as you are. As a trans man, this was for me completely new. Okay, I can say I believe in God and be transgender. I can say I love God and I'm desiring to live a life with God, even I'm transgender. This is totally normal, and God loves all his children. That is a very beautiful experience here in this community, in this church.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like I had a lot of beautiful experiences. Like I remember one particular church like led me to God and helped me like start to have a relationship with God. But then I just had this experience where I ended up rejecting the community because of them rejecting the, LGBTQ, and then I sort of like rejected God too at that time, because I think I was just so frustrated. And I feel like it's like, for me, I always felt it's really important for alignment to be right. Like, I really love this community and I really love God, but I feel like I really needed this community to like ground my love of God, if that makes sense, right? Like being loved. Oh, I'm gonna get a little emotional. Being loved in this community has helped me to really ground my love for God and to like not go anywhere. This is like the first church that I haven't like bounced out of in a year, 6 months. And I remember I'd always go to like the dance world because that felt really safe. And then I would get hurt by the dance world and I would leave and I'd go to a church, and I like kept bouncing around. And it's so nice to be in a community that I can just really trust that I'm going to be celebrated and honored and loved and encouraged to, work through my feelings, work through my healing, without judgment, without fear. Like just really helping me to feel safe, to feel my upsets, because we all have them, right? Whenever you're deep diving into your feelings and into your heart, there are going to be things that come up that people in the community might trigger you. But then having that mirror exercise, having the tool to really go in and recognize, okay, well, where am I doing this to myself? Where am I really not respecting myself? And then healing through it and recognizing, oh, that was just my trigger. Like it really wasn't them. It was just my own trigger. Has been really, it's just been so powerful, because it's been able to make me see how loved I truly am. And then in all areas of my life, not just in the community, but as I've let the community come in, I have more grounded friendships here in Colorado, because it felt safe. It felt safe to let those authentic people in. So it's not just this like oneness with the community, but it's like this oneness and this love just with people in general. But the community helped me heal that. And I just love the alignment that the community's brought to help me love everyone. Yeah.
It's beautiful, and I think it's a very intimate topic. I think it's very close to heart, yeah. And what I really like is how you shared that finding your spiritual community helped you also open up to just healthy relationship in general, yeah. And yeah, I can see that it's like a nice foundation basically to have in your life, and on top of that you can really build whatever you enjoy, right? That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, what I liked about the sermon too was how Abir explained that this process of going your path with God, that it is safe to open up to love and to realize you are always loved by God. Like what Kelly was now, this topic thing is very emotional for her, and that you can ground this love here on earth. And the Church of Union is helping us to ground this love we have for God, and also ground this love we have for God in our perfect partner. And the Church of Union supports that you don't need to go alone. You can go this path with your perfect partner, and also to allow yourself. Sometimes she was sharing that she may have listened to the voice of ego, and that is okay, safe also here in the community. Sometimes you kind of leave the path a little bit, but you always find back here as you get supported to hear the voice of love again, because that was so beautiful when she said, God feels always good. The voice of God feels always full of love. And this is not the voice of doubt or the voice of fear. God is always the voice of love. And that you can have here a safe space to find the voice of love again. And sometimes I have my doubts too on my journey here with God. And do I get hurt again on the path of being with God? Do I get judged? Or do I have to suppress something of my true self to be accepted in a group of people, or am I safe here? And I experienced growth in myself, and I'm now surrounded by people who help me to see you would like even to grow in this place, and you would like to live more your true self, and you are hurt in this area. That's why things are like this in your life. And this is so beautiful to have people who are in a very compassionate way loving with you. And this way I manifest and attract people in all areas of my life who align with these values, as I feel one with God in people in general, because God is everywhere and God can speak through everyone. I mostly experienced that on my transgender journey through the doctors and therapists who helped me on my journey. I experienced so much love. With these teachings of Union, I was able to receive so much love and support, even through doctors and surgeons, and I got really loved, and they were all so compassionate. I just received compassion and true love, and all of them wanted to truly help me. Every one of them, even my therapist, he was so compassionate, and he taught me how I be compassionate with myself in the whole process. I did not know how to do that at all. And every session I had with him was so healing, even it was somewhere outside the community. As you are open to God, you will encounter God in others as you learn to listen to the voice of God through others. And that is so beautiful that you can learn in this community to build this muscle. Yeah, this is God. I listen to this voice. This voice feels good. That was very beautiful. Fabian, you're muted.
Oh, thanks for mentioning that. And sometimes it's really the little things, yeah. And I didn't have much of a divine relationship or God relationship, and I'm still growing in that area. Well, like I think it was like a couple of days ago. It's just a moment that stood out to me in the week. It says I was in the city, I was like, okay, God, what shall we like? What should I eat? It's lunchtime. Where should we go together? And then like a thought came into my mind. It was like pizza. I haven't had pizza in a long time, so why not? But it's something that I wouldn't usually get, and it's like this kind of like a God thought in that moment. And so I was just searching for the pizza restaurant, and then there's a new opening, like a new store opened. It's like I think it's a chain like Domino's or something. I'm not sure how it's perceived, generally speaking, but that was a high vibe like Domino's store, because it's like newly opened, and it's not very common here in Germany. So it has a specific vibe to it, and the the people working there were super friendly. They had a good mood, and I got a good pizza and a good experience in that way, right? Because there's a lot of things coming together, like people having a good mood working there. That's always a plus, especially when they prepare food for you. And yeah, this was just one little experience that I wouldn't have probably if I didn't partner with God there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like learning to be supported, right, is letting God in. And that's something I've been healing continually in my process. It's like, okay, what do I need to be supported? And for so long, it was just, okay, like, all right, I'm just going to heal through all my feelings. Like, just feels like lifetimes and lifetimes of bad feelings. But as I really start to let God in, it's been so beautiful, because I'm always getting these like the messages of like how to get more support and how to like I don't know, and then like things naturally just come my way without me even like like knowing I have a need for it, but not necessarily claiming it or looking for it. But then it just sort of like comes into my reality and my vibration. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that I like some of that, please. Thank you so much. I need this to support me in my journey. And I feel like it becomes a natural process. Like when you really learn to at least for me, I was very harsh with myself years ago and would always make myself like push through kind of like that. Yeah, just like push through life as opposed to like allowing things to come to me and allowing myself to be loved and like having compassion for myself where I'm healing into the life of my dreams. Because I feel like, I was in the professional development world for many years, like probably, I don't know, like 10 years before I started to really learn the teachings of union. And it teaches you to just work harder. And just, okay, if I just could work harder. So I feel like the professional development world sort of taught me to continue bullying myself
Mm.
and shaming myself because I just wasn't working hard enough. And if you were like a fly on the wall, you'd be like, whoa, Kelly, you need to chill out. Like I remember, I remember finally having a little bit of time off on the weekends. Um, and it felt very uncomfortable. Like I didn't even know what to do with my time. It felt very like it was so foreign. And then now, of course, it's simple. I know exactly what to do with my time. But it's like, you know, when you start to heal that, that pushful, forceful way in life, and inside, then things just naturally, they just it like everything gels, everything comes together. And like the more I align with the teachings of union and with myself and with God, like everything sort of comes together naturally, and there I don't have to force it. And even when I have questions, I just allow them. I just allow the questions and allow them to come to me as a natural process instead of having to like get it all right now. And it usually just comes naturally, which is, I don't know, like they always say, like, Jeff and Shaleia always say, love is easy. I'm like, oh, is it really? Yeah. Yeah, I believe that love is easy. So, yeah, it's a process though, because it's not what we're taught. It's not what I was taught. So, yeah.
It's not something that we learn at school, right? Not, I guess not as of now. Maybe that will change. Hopefully that will change. I'm sure it will. Yeah, little meditation techniques and mindfulness practice. I think it's becoming more and more popular around the world. But yeah, definitely having an effortless manifestation process, that's a dream, right? And if we get a taste of that more and more often, as a result of healing, that's always super cool. Yeah. Cool. Paco, did you want to add something to that?
I feel pretty complete. Maybe what you were sharing with it's more modern already to learn children to feel their feelings and not suppress them anymore. It's God is there already too, and I'm praying that the children learn safe to have their feelings, that we learn children from the beginning to build their emotional body. It's important, like the physical body. And as we learn now here, kind of relearn to suppress our emotional body and really allowing our inner child to be there, that children learn that already. Also, God is in schools. I believe that, and God will find always people that the children can learn it from beginning, to hold space for themselves, for their emotions, safe to have feelings, and to help yourself to feel better and learn it from adults. So I believe God is everywhere, and I believe we are here in this community, all loving ourselves, taking responsibilities for our feelings. It makes a difference when we do that in ourselves, when we learn that. And I believe, and I see it, it makes a difference. I see it in my day job, it makes a difference. There will be people who don't like it, but I learn here also to set boundaries with people who don't choose love. And so I'm safe. No matter what I do with God, I'm safe. I feel the first time in my life safe. Even I am surrounded sometimes with people who are not the same, have not the same belief in God and love like me, but I feel safe with God. I'm safe with God, and I believe that the world is changing, and I see that the world is changing, and it's maybe looks like a little.
Mm.
We don't know the bigger picture, but God knows it. And so I believe that there are more heart open for love than we see, and God knows it. That's why He is always inviting us, also through our gurus, Jeff and Shaleia, to keep going, to never give up, because there are so many people who are open for love, but they are so hurt. They are open for God, like we were. I was just so hurt, and I was so resentful because of the hurt, not because I don't desired God. I was just hurt. And sometimes, like Kelly was sharing, she was around 3 years just getting feeling, are the people real or are they fake? And that's why I believe in people, and I believe in the desire of people to be with God. So I truly see there is change in the world. Even sometimes when you hear the news, you may say, oh, but there is more than our eye can see, and God is stronger than ego. And I have faith in people.
No, I love what you shared. And I feel like I love what Abir said about, she's talking about like the one child. And I feel like we really do, I notice we really do rise collectively as that one student. And even people outside of the community, they're doing their work, they're healing, they're working through things as best they can, best they know, right? And I don't know, I feel like the Church of Union just sort of like unlocks all of it. It's like that last piece for me that's like, oh, it's like so logical and everything makes sense. Like where the science and the spiritual kind of just merge and just make so much sense. But it is a process. And I notice, like I teach a lot of children, and it's so beautiful to be able to like witness and just I will ask my students questions, like, well, how does it feel? Or if we have someone who's upset, I'm like, well, I can tell they're just nervous. Like, and then we address it. We're like, oh, well, like how I get nervous too. I get upset too. And I can just like allow that. So I think we can all be witness to children when they get upset, and like just, yeah, that's a normal process. And I notice for myself, and children are just like masters at this because they're naturally divine, is like when you encourage children to feel their feelings, they literally work through it. They like do their own mirror exercise in like like a minute or two, and then they're happy and they're ready. But as soon as you tell them to suppress it, and it'll just get bigger and bigger, and then they just, eventually learn to suppress their feelings. But if you allow it, they literally they work through it and they're fine. It's really, I was like, I don't know who, it's just interesting. But I feel like the more that we teach parents how to feel, the children naturally do that. Like, my daughter doesn't align to like the mirror exercise and everything, but she does know that there's something very special about how I work through my feelings and my process. And, instead of getting upset and letting a trigger cause toxicity within my family dynamic, like, I will just go to my room and work through some things. And my daughter naturally just allows that. She knows that I'm taking care of me emotionally. And that just sets her free, because then she's not trying to make me happy, right? Like, when I'm taking responsibility for that. And I think the more that we learn, it's like opposite. Like, I saw my family, my mom, like, always put the family first, always put cleaning first over her mental health and things like that. And it was painful to watch. And I remember, and so it's so nice to realize that when I put my feelings first, and I put my happiness first, and obviously my daughter needs food and she needs care and she needs these things. But outside of those things, right? If I can really put myself first, put my feelings and my healing first, it's amazing. Like, I've healed my childhood depression, and my daughter, her transformation without even learning the teachings of union. And, because when she's ready, I'm happy to teach her, but she's not quite ready to feel all her feelings yet. But she's able to move through her own feelings, and she's like the happiest she's ever been. And it's amazing. Like, my happiness helps her find her own happiness. And I think so often we're taught as parents is like, okay, well, how do we help our kids be happy? Well, it's the opposite. Your kids are always, if they're acting out or rebelling against anything, it's really, they're pointing to your unhappiness internally. And so that's like the biggest lesson for me as a parent, is to really do my inner work. And as I've done that, like, my relationship with her has transformed, and it's just so beautiful. We just have the most beautiful relationship, and it's all the teachings of union. I mean, she's a beautiful person, but we had a lot of challenges. So, yeah.
It has a big impact, right? Every loving choice, every upset healed, really, I guess, reverses the trend of history. One by one, right? It's a divine plan unfolding. And what was it again? Like, it comes down to family units, right? If the family unit and the twin flame couple at the core, at the center of it, is in alignment with love, and everything, connected to it is ultimately also loving, because there's love at the core. And then also, we are not alone, right? There's multiple spiritual traditions and communities out there, and they all have the same goal, right? And there's a lot of people that don't even know that they are spiritual, but they are spiritual, right? That is also a thing. So I guess the majority of people, right, is loving and choosing love, and a lot of beautiful things are happening. Although there is a lot of conflict still going on, I think we are headed in the right direction. Do you guys feel good, feel complete? Do you guys want to add anything else?
Yeah, that feels great. That feels complete for me.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for participating, and thank you everyone for tuning in on Facebook and YouTube. And if you would like to support our message and contribute, you can visit unionism.org, our website, and yeah, just support us with a donation or through tithing. And have a great week ahead, everyone, and a wonderful new year. Bye bye.